Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya, and today we have with us Janki Ram, MSV, Principal Analyst at Janki Ram Associate. Jani, it's great to have you on the show.
Hi, Swapnil.
Today we are going to talk about AWS reInvent. It's almost here, so we will see what they announce, what we can expect there. But I want to hear from you. What are the things? Number one, either you expect or you wish they will announce. So let's start there.
This year's reInvent, which is obvious, is all going to be focused on generative AI. Amazon has been making a lot of investments behind the scenes. They are actually building a new team based on the developer experience and generative AI. And all the work that they have been doing so far will be kind of unleashed and unveiled at reInvent. So that's going to be a pretty big deal.
What are the areas where, of course, when it comes to public cloud, I mean, depending on where you look, wherever AWS or Amazon goes, they kind of dominate the market. But what are the areas where you see them becoming, making an entry where they were not there, where you see the potential of Amazon, AWS entering into those spaces?
If you look at the generative AI market and how it actually translated to enterprises in the last 1 year since the launch of ChatGPT, the AI assistants have become the most monetizable IP around generative AI. That is how Google is projecting Duet AI, and they're actually selling that as a new service. You have to sign up for Duet AI as an add-on service on top of Google Workspaces. So that is how Google is monetizing their investment in generative AI. So Duet AI is becoming like a flagship service from Google. And Microsoft is kind of claiming the entire brand around Copilots. They have done significant work around Copilots and anything and everything from GitHub to security to Microsoft 365, Knowledge Worker, everything is revolving around Copilot. Now, Amazon is late to the party in announcing their AI assistant strategy. So my first prediction and a wish list is Amazon announcing a brand new AI assistant for its operational and basically the DevOps users who can basically interact with that AI assistant to perform mundane tasks. Now, what I actually expect is a chatbot sitting inside the Amazon management console, the AWS management console, where I can go and say, hey, launch an EC2 instance in Singapore based on exactly the same configuration of my previous instance launched in Ireland. Now, this might actually sound very trivial, but it has a lot of depth and contextual information hidden inside that. I am actually asking Amazon control plane to replicate my configuration from Ireland to Singapore and launch a similar instance. Now, the AI assistant will have to figure out and connect the dots across multiple things to basically translate that into an executable action or a command. So that is going to be significant. And then the same AI assistant is going to deliver DevOps capabilities, DevSecOps capabilities, FinOps, and all of that. So you're going to see these AI assistants that are highly optimized for cost, performance, security, automation, infrastructure management, and all of that. So AWS already has an AI assistant for developers in the form of Code Whisperer. I'm expecting Ops Whisperer or something to that extent, which will help the DevOps community and the customers to interact with AWS. So that is my number one prediction and a wish list.
What's next on your wish list?
So the next thing that I expect and would love to see is a managed database for vector embeddings and basically a managed vector database on the lines of Amazon RDS. So, Amazon didn't want to completely stay out of the radar in terms of generative AI. So they have been incrementally adding certain capabilities. For example, they added pgvector to Amazon RDS and Amazon Aurora based PostgreSQL. And they added vector engine to OpenSearch serverless. But my guess is they're going to be announcing a new category, a family of managed database in the form of a vector database. And this will be a standalone product, nothing to do with Postgres or Elastic, which is OpenSearch, but this will be a brand new service by itself. And this is going to help customers bring data from multiple sources. For example, the data that is stored in S3, the data that is stored in Redshift, and a traditional RDS databases, they can bring all of that into a centralized single source of truth and use that to build context for LLM. So my second item in the wish list is a standalone managed vector database.
Excellent. And what's third on your list?
What's third is an extension of the vector database, and I call that as the serverless RAG pipeline. Now let me explain what I mean by that. So retrieval augmented generation is a very popular concept among LLM developers. What it basically does is it brings existing data and converts that into word embeddings by invoking an embeddings model, stores that in a vector database, indexes that, and then performs a semantic search to retrieve the context and then sends that to an LLM. So this reduces the hallucination of LLMs because it has the factual contextual data to respond with meaningful answers. Now, Amazon has all the building blocks to build these pipelines in a serverless fashion. And I'm guessing Amazon will bring the investments from AWS Lambda, Step Functions, AWS Glue, Athena, Bedrock to basically provide a browser-based canvas where I can actually say, oh, here is my data like S3 bucket, a Redshift database, an RDS database, and I connect the dots and then I point them to an embeddings model, and from there I point it to a vector database, and then I connect to the LLM. All of that without writing a single line of code and using a graphical interface. Something like an AWS step function definition. And then when I push the button, this whole graph that I create is going to be converted into an executable code, and the serverless part comes in where as soon as I add a new PDF to the S3 bucket, it automatically becomes available in my vector database, and my chatbot is ready to answer queries on a PDF that I just uploaded. And similarly, when I delete a PDF from an S3 bucket or delete a row from my database, it automatically gets deleted in the vector database because they are constantly kept in sync through this serverless infrastructure. And what it means is you don't have stale data, and you have up-to-date current data for the chatbot to answer any question. And this is going to significantly enhance the user experience and enable customers to build chatbots for real-time, order status or supply chain or invoicing, a lot of use cases. And this is something that I strongly feel Amazon should invest in.
What's fourth on your list?
The fourth one is a big prediction and a rumor that a speculation that I've been reading at multiple places. So if you look at Amazon's biggest weakness so far in the generative AI space is lack of foundation models. While Microsoft has significant investments in OpenAI and they almost treat them as their own foundation models, and Google has DeepMind where they have significant research investments to build and train foundation models like Palm and Chirp and so on. Amazon didn't have their own foundation models. They have something called Titan, but that didn't really take off. And as a matter of fact, Amazon's most recent no-code tool called PartyRock is based on everything but Amazon's foundation model. They talk about Claude 2 from Anthropic, they talk about Jurassic from AI21, they talk about Command from Cohere, but they don't use Titan for their own product. And that actually speaks volumes about the confidence that Amazon has on their own LLM. So there are rumors, and I strongly feel it may be true, that Amazon is quietly building a very powerful LLM that they're going to announce at reInvent. It is speculated to be called as Olympus, which is trained on trillion parameters, beating every LLM out there in the market and becoming the most powerful foundational model for everything that Amazon is going to build and their partners are going to build. So that is my big prediction. It could be a rumor, but I strongly feel this might be the case where Amazon will actually announce a solid, new, improved version of their LLM, which will beat everyone out there. That is one of my predictions.
And what's fifth on your wish list?
The last one is multimodal AI. So multimodal AI is the ability to bring different modalities, like a vision model, a language model, to deliver unique experiences. I'm sure you would have seen ChatGPT with Vision, GPT for Vision, where you can upload a picture instead of a prompt, and ChatGPT will either describe what's in it or finds a defect in the picture, or you can basically use a picture as a prompt to get what you wanted of the LLM. So Amazon is going to build multimodal AI on top of Bedrock, where they'll bring existing models, or they use something like the large language vision assistant, which is called Lava, to expose the multimodal AI on top of Bedrock. So this is going to be very unique, and this is almost written on the wall because everyone is investing in multimodal AI, and Amazon would definitely want to do that.
Those were great. I'm pretty sure that this is not just your wish list. A lot of folks, they also want AWS, Amazon to be doing these things. Thanks for all those, of course, wish list or predictions, as we can call them. Thanks for all those great insights as well. And I look forward to our next discussion. Thank you.
Yes. And once reInvent is done, we'll come back and do a recap and see how many of these will come true.